Hola, geek fans! Welcome back. It's time for another Jacob Watches. And what I forced the Jacob to watch this week, I forced him to watch Bram Stoker's Dracula. Dun, 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 dun. Directed by Francis Ford Coppola, starring Gary Oldman as Dracula. It's got Keanu Reeves in there for some reason as an Englishman, Winona Ryder, and Anthony Hopkins as Van Helsing. Jacob, what did you think? Oh wait, first of all, this is Dracula, so it's the original story of Dracula, based on the actual novel. You know the deal. It's Dracula.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah. To be completely honest, I didn't really like this movie that much. And I know the reason to watch it is Gary Oldman's performance, and that is the reason to watch this movie, because that was the only thing that I found compelling about the movie itself. Everything else, it was just kind of, bland and boring, and like everyone, I think everyone would agree with this, but Keanu Reeves' performance in it was awful.
Terrible.
His accent didn't even stick the whole time.
And it never made sense. His accent never made sense anyway.
Yeah, and the whole time I just expected to start going like, "Oh, dude, oh man, why torture me?" But thankfully though, he wasn't in it that much. He was just in the beginning and then the end, pretty much. And then Winona Ryder, she was fine in it. I liked her, and I liked her performance in it. But then the other one is Anthony Hopkins as Van Helsing. He was awesome.
I loved it. I forgot about Van Helsing. When I originally watched the movie, I don't think I really paid much attention to that character. But yeah, he has some really funny lines. Like, he's really matter of fact about something. Like, at one point they have to kill this vampire, and like it was Winona Ryder's friend. Yeah. And she asked him like, "Well, what'd you do?" He's like, "Oh, well, we chopped out of her head and drove a stake through her heart." And then she screams like, "It's like, what's the big deal?" Yeah. he casually makes references to these brutal things like, "Oh, like it's nothing."
Yeah, and there's a movie called Van Helsing that starred Hugh Jackman, and it was awful.
Oh, God.
It was really bad, but this, you actually see Anthony Hopkins as this, this vampire hunter.
Yeah.
And, but a lot of the movie, it was just, like, really, like, I felt it was uneven and just, like, kind of, like, poorly constructed, I thought. And why does Dracula have, like, 5 different forms throughout the movie? He has, like, his really old form, then he has, the young, dashing guy, and then he has that weird, like, man-bat form. I don't know. I just didn't like it that much. It was really weird, I thought. And I like weird movies, but this was weird in the way that it was uneven, didn't make any sense really.
I really like this movie. I like it quite a bit, and that's acknowledging how terrible Keanu Reeves is. I also don't like Winona Ryder's performance very much. She's also I think she's also terrible for about half the movie. She's good when she's in the weird love scenes with Dracula, and it feels like she's in this strange relationship where she's drawn to him. But when she's not with him, she's like Keanu Reeves. She's a fish out of water with her bad English accent. Doesn't make any sense. With her strange love. Why does she want to be with Keanu Reeves? I have no idea. It's god awful. But I like this movie. I originally liked the movie for 2 reasons. Now Van Helsing is actually a 3rd reason why I like it. But my original reasons were Gary Oldman's Dracula, who I think is fucking spectacular. And this, see, you said it was boring. I thought the movie was amazing, the cinematography. I thought this was one of the most beautifully crafted movies I've ever seen. This is one of the most creative and visionary movies, I think, from a visual perspective. I'm absolutely stunned by it. I was still stunned. I was wondering when I watched it recently, I'm like, is this going to be all dated looking and I'm not going to like the way it looks? No, I love it. This is a beautiful movie. This is so gothic horror.
Yeah,
it looks so great.
I did like the gothic scenery and everything, but the way it looked, it didn't, make up for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, see, I'm drawn to that so much. Like, Man of Steel, right? One of the reasons I like it is because of the visuals and how it looks.
Yes.
The music combines with the visuals to overlook some wooden acting and some problems with the movie to a point I don't care. Here, the music again and the visuals, they combine to create this gothic masterpiece. And then Gary Oldman's performance as Dracula, I loved. And you say you found it weird, all the forms. I loved it. I loved how they had Dracula as Dracula, the super powerful Dracula that had all these strange powers. He's been living for hundreds and hundreds of years. Like, I love that aspect about it. I thought it was great.
I thought they didn't really, go enough into the whole, history of Dracula.
They didn't need to. That's another thing I love. I love the beginning. The beginning where Francis Ford Coppola realized, I don't have the budget to actually put on a battle.
Yes, I was just about to mention that. That was the one of the things I liked. They had the silhouettes of
They had the silhouettes,
yeah.
and it looks so cool. right?
Yeah.
Throughout the movie, they do things like that.
Yeah, I really like that. Another thing that was visually appealing was the look of his castle.
Yeah.
I really like that look of the castle. And then
The shadow. How about the scene when Keanu Reeves is like signing documents,
yes, I thought
and his
that was
shadow
really-
is moving differently than he is.
Yes, I thought that was really cool. I did like some of the visual stuff in it, but I just thought the story just wasn't that compelling.
The story, if you break it down, doesn't really make much sense a lot of the time. Like, for example, he's buying these properties in London, all around London, which seems to be for a strategic reason, and they just drop that.
Yeah.
They just drop that.
And that's why I thought some of it was confusing, because I'm like, where's the story going?
Right.
Yeah.
There was definitely problems with the story. At times, it felt like to me like Dracula was taking unusual risks that he didn't have to. But then there was like the love interest, because when he's away from his homeland, he's not as powerful.
Yeah.
But then there's the love interest compelling him to maybe make bad decisions.
Yeah.
But then they storm one of his places in London and they destroy a bunch of stuff. His homeland dirt, which gives him power.
Yeah.
But what about his other places in London? What
Yeah.
about those places?
Yeah.
Like it's weird. It is strange. And the Keanu Reeves role is just annoying.
Yeah.
Why the hell? What's Francis Ford Coppola doing? Because Keanu Reeves, every scene he just makes it worse.
Yeah.
The scenes just are worse. All those cool scenes, like the scenes with the shadow moving in different directions.
Yeah.
If it was someone else, it would be even better.
Yeah, and he's a director of that caliber can probably get anyone he wants to work with him. Why did he get Keanu Reeves?
It's baffling. It was like, I mean, Keanu Reeves was a popular actor. Winona Ryder was big at that time, but they should have just got all action-native British actors, or at least someone that could fake the accent. I mean, it is so bizarre.
I know. And her and Keanu Reeves kind of like the king and queen of the '90s. But Winona Ryder was good, and he was like the evil king, I guess. He was so bad in all his roles. I just watched Point Break. His acting fits in that, but it's still awful. He just is a really bad actor most of the time. Now when he's older, he'll do some better performances like in John Wick, but overall,
Keanu Reeves, his fame is baffling to me. I guess he's a good-looking guy. He can do some action stuff.
He doesn't age like a vampire.
I mean, I don't know, but either way, I like Francis Ford Coppola's take on Dracula also because it stuck more true to the story, Bram Stoker's story, than other Draculas, where they spin off all kinds of weird directions. I like the classic Victorian time period. I like the sticking to the broadly to the original story.
Yeah.
I like how they hint at some of his powers, like when he invites Keanu Reeves into his house. Like one of the original things about Dracula was he can't force you to come into his castle.
Yeah, you have to invite them.
Of your own free will.
Yeah.
Right? And I like how they just add those little elements, and they add these little sound effects when he does things.
Yeah.
And the music, I liked it visually, was great, the music was good, Dracula was great, there were bad elements with Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder. It's unfortunate. I think you should watch it. I'm going to actually give this movie 4 stars because the visuals and some of the performances really work. And then to me, the negative performances, they don't take away enough to rate it lower. What are you rating it?
I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10. Oh.
That just means like I'm not on. That means I don't know if I'm gonna, recommend this to you or not recommend this to you because it has some appealing elements to it, but also a lot of stuff that I didn't like.
Yeah, some of the side stuff, some of the other side characters, like they like the Texan, some of the other characters, they're just like throwaway characters. I never give a damn about them.
Yeah.
But whatever, it was all about Gary. To me, it's all about Gary Oldman mostly as Dracula. But Jacob, what are you gonna force me to watch brutally?
All right, so the movie I'm gonna recommend to you is called A History of Violence. I think you're really gonna like it. It's a drama about this guy who's just living his comfortable life out in the country, and then this violent thing happens that forces his past to come back to haunt him. And it's a really good movie, and I really enjoy it. We're going to find out what Shane thinks.
Alright then, so stay tuned for Shane Watches A History of Violence. This has been Geeks of the Movies.